The Black Scholars Podcast.
blackscholarspublishing.com.
That we should get our own. Once we have our own, we're respected for the fact that we can create our own. And that's equality right there.
Whoa. 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 Yeah. Whoa. What you call an icon living? Start a record label, Misfits just did it. Whoa. Nylon cover 5 minutes. Whoa. We are too hot in the business. Whoa. About to make a movie independent. Need new tracks.
All right, so shout out to Reflection of the Divine. She said 4 days ago, everybody just needs to find their own ministry. Folks taking up space in jobs they're not good at and don't even like, simply for money. She's telling the truth, 100%. And I just want to ask you guys, what's your purpose? And I'm specifically talking to the black and brown educators who are looking to transition. Many of you guys have transitioned, and I'm extremely proud of you. But a transition is almost like taking a few steps back if it's not well calculated, and if it's not aligned to your actual purpose, because there are a lot of people who have transitioned out of education. And either they've had to come back, or they have transitioned out of education, but they're not finding any success or the same level of success that they were able to experience while they were in education, because things aren't aligned. And so reading this post, and in preparation for, just this thought, because these are quick thoughts, right? I'm brainstorming with you guys. I start thinking about Rick Warren's purpose-driven life. And this is a valid message for believers and non-believers, but especially for those that have a relationship with God. And this is in the Bible as well, too, as many of you know. But when you think about your purpose of your life, we are supposed to be focused on loving others, and loving God, and specifically loving others like God loves the church, right? So that's a tall task. That's a different type of love. There's a different type of respect and admiration and sacrifice with that type of love, right? And we're supposed to love our families. And please excuse me, Father God, but I have to say this. The last one that really, really appeals to me, and has always appealed to me the most, is we're supposed to use our gifts, right? We're supposed to use our gifts and our talents to enhance the lives of others. Many of you know I work for Apple. I worked for Apple 2012, 2013. Or was that 2013? Yeah, 2012, 2013. That's correct. And that is Apple's philosophy. How can we enhance the lives of others? It's brilliant. It's beautiful. Guess what? It's biblical. It's spiritual. It's how you should actually live your life. So if you think about, okay, if I'm supposed to use my gifts, my talents to enhance the lives of others, doesn't say anything about working in tech. Doesn't say anything about being a teacher. Doesn't say anything about being in ministry. Doesn't say anything about being in healthcare. As a pharmacist, a dentist, a physician, a neurologist, a surgeon, a nurse. It doesn't say anything like that in any religious text. So I think it's fair for us to respectfully assume and presume, infer that God really doesn't care about what we do with our careers as long as we are using our gifts and talents, right, to take care of, to love the church like God loved the church. Made a mistake. But to love the church like God loved the church, to love others, to love our family, and again, to use our skills to enhance the lives of others. As long as we can use our skills, our passions, our interests, our talents, our competencies, our subject matter expertise to enhance the lives of others, we are fulfilling our purpose. And so going back to this tweet, everybody just needs to find their own ministry. Folks are taking up space in jobs they're not good at. You know why they're not good at them? Because they're not really truly aligned to them. You're pursuing jobs that you're not even 100% committed to just because the money is good. Or just because you like the accolades, or you like the title and the prestige that comes with it. Do you really want to be a coder? Do you really want to be a programmer? Do you really want to work in cybersecurity? Do you know how much studying you need to do to be good in cybersecurity? Are you committed to it? You don't even like the transition you've made, but yet you still pursued making this transition. You're not excited about it. Like, that's a clear indicator that God, the universe, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, the Holy Spirit, has put you in the right position, in the right industry, in the right career or vocation. When you get excited about it, even to this day, I haven't touched the classroom. And what was that, January 2022? It's been a while. It's not that long ago where I don't remember how to do it and do it at a high level, because I still know how to do it. But it's long enough where oh, he's gone. He's gone. Not coming back. But you can still ask me to this day, you mention anything about education, especially anything related to English language arts, right? Anything connected to writing, reading, literature, critical thinking, analytical thinking, debate. Academic debate. Like, there's excitement there. Even when I talk to people about different TV shows and movies, they always want my opinion. Why? Because I've written fiction before. I've written novels before. I've never written a manuscript. But my critical thinking, my analytical thinking, my creative thinking, when I'm watching something, I'm analyzing it. When I'm watching something, I can literally predict movies while I'm watching it for the first time. And that's not a magic trick. That comes from years of writing and years of creating and years of reading literature over and over and over again. English teachers, you feel me? Art theater teachers, you understand exactly where I'm coming from. That is a skill set, right? And some things are given to you naturally. Like, I'll be honest, like how I started reading is I grabbed actual novels as a kid. That's in me. Now, did my, family read to me when I was younger, like much younger? Sure. Was I always around books? Yes, we had a whole house full of books. Was I a bit different? And was I allowed to be different? Was I allowed to be curious? Was I allowed to do some self-discovery? Yes. And so when I think of who Leonard was at the age of 7 and 8, at the core, curious, a bit of an introvert, with the ability to be extroverted and to socialize and to turn on the charm, but someone who loved being by himself, loved nature, loved reading, loved watching movies, loved anything with the arts. At that time, could draw, could paint, right? At the core of me, that's who I was. Loved God. Didn't fully understand the world, didn't fully understand God, but I knew I loved him. I knew he helped create me. I knew he made me different. I knew I wasn't meant to fit in like everyone else. And I knew and was courage not to try to go against the grain. Why try to fit in when you're a standout? And that's still true 30 years later. I'm still an introvert with the ability to become extroverted and socialize and put on the charm. I'm still intrinsically interested in knowledge and learning and books. I still love nature. I still love quiet. Periods of just stillness. Periods of peace. I appreciate the smaller things of life. I'm not a club goer, never have been. I'm not into all of the super expensive, overly priced luxury items, never have been. I like great things. I like nice things. I love high quality, but I'm cool with quality over quantity. I don't need to have, 1,000 of this brand type shirts. Just give me one or two and give me a nice suit and let me go get it tailored and customized. Right? I appreciate everything. I'm grateful for everything. Right? That's who I am at my core. So again, back to finding your ministry. And this is kind of the second main point of all of this, is that whatever you're trying to pursue, please make sure what you're trying to pursue is genuinely you. We just discussed God doesn't care what you do. It doesn't matter if you're an optometrist, if you are a pediatrician, if you are a nutritionist, if you're a physical fitness guru, you're an entrepreneur, you're a stock trader, you're a real estate investor, you're a house flipper, you do construction, you're an artist, you're a recording artist. No one cares. God doesn't care. What he cares about is that you respect people, you love people, you have a relationship with him, and that you use your gifts to enhance the lives of others. Educators, you do that right now. Former educators, you've done that already. So if you're enhancing the lives of others, right, with your gifts, isn't that servitude? Like someone email me, right? The Black Scholars Podcast at gmail.com. Someone email me or contact me on social media. You tell me if I'm wrong. Enhancing the lives of others, right, is essentially servitude. You're taking whatever you're interested in, whatever you have decided to study, whatever you are skilled in. And let me make this point. Study what you're interested in. Now, sometimes you study things just as a form of exploration, like I did when I started my tech journey. I studied how to code. I didn't like it. So I had to do more research and look for other careers that didn't involve code. And that led me to data analytics, which led me to Salesforce. And now I'm home. This is an ecosystem where I can grow and I can continue to learn and I can bounce around within the ecosystem to different sectors of the career to maintain my interest and engagement I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. Do I want to do this for the rest of my life? Absolutely not. And that's why tech is a great place for lifelong learners. Guess what? Educators, you are lifelong learners. And so if you want to be in a industry where you continuously have to learn new information and apply it and hone what you have learned and the application of it, and it's not much reading books, and those books are out there and available, but a lot of it is more it's too evolving for it to be a book. A big book, when I say big, I mean by one of the major publishers, takes a long time to come out, right? It's a whole process. It's marketing, it's planning. There's a lot going on, right? So unless it's like a independent publishing house like Black Scholars Publishing, or someone's writing on their own and publishing through Amazon, or Kindle, CreateSpace, or what was formerly known as CreateSpace, it's not a quick enough turnaround, right? And so there are a lot of different avenues and methods and platforms for you to stay sharp on whatever is happening. I'm grateful that in Salesforce it's so structured and organized, and the people are so supportive that there's constantly new information, and you don't go without that information. Salesforce releases 3 software updates every single year, and so you're constantly having to learn something new. The functionality is changing, the world is changing, the economy is changing, the needs of businesses and individuals and nonprofits and for-profits, and they're changing, right? And you evolve with it. But for me, like, I want to continue to learn. I want to continue to get better, right? Because honestly, the more problems you can solve, right, and the more difficult, intricate problems you can solve, the higher you are valued. And I'm talking about money, guys, right? I'm talking about lifestyle, okay? Being able to buy the things you need and want to buy, being able to save, being able to invest, all of those things, right? So whatever you are pursuing, whatever you are interested in, please make sure it's something you're actually interested in. If you're studying something, sometimes you're just studying again just to explore. I studied programming and coding because I just needed to explore. I studied data analytics because I was ready to transition out of a classroom. And I studied Salesforce because I was familiar with Salesforce, and I wanted to do something technical without having to code necessarily. And that it's no code and there's low code, right? And so I'm using some form of coding, but not on a consistent basis, right? I don't want that career, at least not yet. But that could change in the future. And I'm fine with that. But I'm not chasing my purpose. I'm not being feeble-minded or fickle and chasing what's quote-unquote hot. No. Because once again, God don't care what we do when it comes to a career. As long as you are loving Him, loving God, loving the church, loving others, and using your skills, gifts, competencies, talents, passions, interests, all of the above, to enhance, improve the lives of others. Even if you just remember that last part, enhancing the lives of others. You can do that in so many different ways. Just make sure in whatever way you do it because it's something you're genuinely interested in. It's something that you have talent for. Don't just pursue something just because you like the title, the prestige, you like the positive stigma that comes along with it. I know people work in tech, they don't even really like it, right? Don't come over to tech just because you want more money. Because I promise you, tech is big enough that you want more money. You could find something that you're actually really talented and genuinely interested in, right? My English teachers, you can come over and do technical writing and you would probably love it. I promise you, you would. For my math teachers, you probably would love data analytics. You probably would. Machine engineering, right? Artificial intelligence, coding, like you might actually like it. Science teachers, right? Like you guys are good at discovering patterns. You might like that type of work, right? Just align yourself with who you are and who you've been known to be and who you aspire to be, all of the above. My entire life, and this is my last point in this quick thought, I've been told I'm very studious, I'm very smart, I communicate very well, whether it's verbally. I could take complex information, learn it, study it, and break it down and make it very simple, right? And applicable to almost anyone. And I write at a very, very high level. Oh, and I'm very good at research. Again, very studious. Guess what? I do all of those things right now in Salesforce. And I'm not, this isn't a Salesforce commercial. It's always going to be my anecdote that I use as evidence to support the claim that I'm making, right? It's supporting my thesis, right? And so, same thing. I'm not jumping over to ServiceNow because I know several people in ServiceNow and they make great money. I'm not going to do that. That's not my interest, right? I'm not going to apply for pharmacy school because I have a friend that just graduated pharmacy school and he's making six figures. He's making like mid six figures. I'm not going to do that, right? My path is my path. I can't be deterred and influenced by what everybody else has going on. I have to stick to my lane. I got tunnel vision. I have tunnel vision. I will continue to have tunnel vision. That doesn't mean I'm not paying attention to the trends of what everybody else is doing. That just means that I'm not easily moved. I'm like the Rock of Gibraltar, right? When I do my research and I study and I can, do enough research in whatever you're pursuing to feel confident that this is you. And just like shopping, when I'm shopping for clothing, I'm not trying on everything. I might explore, I might look around, but I'm not physically touching everything. I'm not physically putting this coat or this suit or this jacket or this shirt or this sweatshirt on my body because I can just look at things and tell that's not for me. I can look at cybersecurity, and even though when I was working in banking, I did think about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity then and now, two totally different things. It has evolved and things consistently evolved. I don't have an interest right now in cybersecurity. Talk to me in 5 years. Talk to me in 10 years. Maybe I will. And that's the other, I promise you, very, very last point. Your purpose is the same. Your ministry within your purpose, which can be construed as the same thing, there's a bit of a slight variance. That's going to evolve. And so my purpose is to enhance the lives of others, to serve others using my skill sets, right? My ministry in 2007, 2008, 2009 was to become an educator. That's where I was going to fulfill my purpose. I was called into education, like literally. I prayed about it, talked to God about it. Literally, I was drawn and excited to education. In my past, it made so much sense for me to be an educator. Okay? Fast forward to 2021, 2022, when I started making that transition, I was called to tech. That seed was already planted when my daughter was born in 2010. I was thinking of tech then, but didn't pull the trigger. So, last piece of advice, do some reflection, do some soul searching, think about your past, write it down if you need to, talk to people who might remember it more accurately than you can remember it, and start putting those pieces of the puzzle together. Literally, any seeds that have been planted in my past came to fruition much later on. Just like October 2020, I started taking stock market investing, trading classes, learn how to do technical analysis, all of those things. I got out of the market because I was making money, but I started losing some money, and I didn't have time to thoroughly study, so I left it alone. And then I started making this transition over to tech, and so that literally took a majority of my time and brain power. But do you think that God allowed me to experience that just for fun? Absolutely not. It's going to come back around, and it's going to come back around in a major way. I promise you that. So, I love y'all. Thank you for listening. I'm out.
Thank you for listening to the Black Scholars Podcast. For more information, go to blackscholarspublishing.com.
You just gotta go. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try. You will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slave in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, wasn't no misery. Call me crazy.